one of the things you being a vet is, you can take advantage of the no money down VA loan, which is such a powerful tool to buy real estate. And yes, it's primary residence, but you can buy a multifamily deal, live in one unit, house hack the rest
Yep.
out, or you can live in the property for a little bit and then move out. You do that 2 or 3 times over a 10-year span, no money down. I mean, you can become a multi-millionaire a couple times over. So why do more people not utilize that?
Man, there's a couple reasons. The biggest one is just misinformation. So unfortunately, when you get your license as an agent or a loan officer, and I have both, for anyone who's watching this, I don't use either. Don't ask me to sell you a house. But I got them just so I could speak to it and have the credentials, whatever. They don't teach you anything. They're like, oh, this is the VA loan. It's backed by the VA. So it's 0 down. You pass the test, move on. And so you've got to, probably like the only lenders who really know about the product are people who took the time to research it on their own or read the guidelines or whatever. People who are passionate about it. And so what happens is you get agents who don't understand it and lenders who don't understand it that think for some reason 0 down is more risky than 20% down, even though it's guaranteed by the government. So whatever. But they just have all these misconceptions about the product. And because they don't understand it, it's easier to sell somebody on, hey, use the FHA or the conventional, which, I'll be honest, like I've done a ton of digging and the VA is by far the best primary residence mortgage out there, not just from a 0% down.
The pricing.
There's better interest rate pricing. It's a 0.5 point better on anything multifamily than FHA, because FHA and conventional have a markup on multifamily and the VA doesn't. There's no credit score requirement. There's no DTI. I've seen somebody close at 78% DTI with a VA loan.
Really?
Anything in,
really? I didn't know there was not a requirement for DTI.
Yeah, 49 and or bust, and so you can go 30% higher jet to income on a VA. There's all kinds of crazy stipulations, but ultimately, the VA's guidelines are pretty minimal. And the appraisal process is better for a VA loan than anything else. It's a really cool product. And so it is a bummer that people don't, they pitch people on not using it because they don't understand it. So I always tell vets, I'm like, look, if you go to a lender, they tell you can't do that with the VA loan, ask them where it says that in the guidelines. And if they can't show you in the guidelines from the VA, then move on, because it's just that bank putting limitations on it. And, I'm like, find a lender or an agent who knows what they're doing. And, I don't know. It's such a cool product. And yeah, to your point, I have a good friend of mine who was stationed here in 2014 and bought a house in North Park, and he sold it for $517,000 net in his pocket 2 years ago. And he put 0 down on the house. And because he had lived in it for 2 years, and as a vet, the 2 out of 5 years is actually 2 out of 15 if you're still serving.
Really? I didn't know that.
And so he hadn't lived in the house in like 6 or 7 years and got to take it all. He only had to pay capital gains on the 17,000 over the $500,000 mark. And so that's one house. Now that's obviously good timing and a whole lot of things that play into it. But if you made 20% of that a few times over, you'd be doing great. He made $500,000 on the sale of one property. He owns 10 or 15 properties. So yeah, it's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, it's literally one of the best deals out there. I mean, we were just ripping on it a little while ago with Mike when he came on the pod, but I'm like, he's done it 3 times. I've done it twice. So it's like between the two of us, it's like 5 times. But when you talk about it, a lot of people, and you don't even have to be a veteran. Like there's credit unions out there that will do 100% low LTV products.
Oh yeah.
Navy Federal Credit Union's one of them.
And I'm like, the USDA loan, and yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, when you talk about it on social media, people are like, oh, it's not true, or like you're full of crap, and it's like, okay, like it's happened 5 times, just between the two of us, and I'm sure you've done it. How many times have you done it?
I actually, interestingly enough, I've probably helped vets buy close to $200 million worth of homes with the VA now.
That's crazy.
And I haven't used it because my first lender was like, oh, you can only use it one time. Don't waste it on this duplex. So I did an FHA. And then when I learned you could use it multiple times, I was like, well, that sucks. But by then I lived in Hawaii. I was priced out. And then I got out of the military and I was just totally unbankable. So this year will be the first year that I'm actually going to be able to use the VA loan because I'll show enough income in the business to, because you know how real estate is. We all write everything off. Yeah. And then I went to qualify for the loan.
On paper, you don't make any money.
Yeah, I went to qualify for the loan and my lender is like, bro, I can't lend on this house. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you have no income. I was like, you just lent me $4 million. He's like, this is different. You're going to live in this one. I was like, oh, cool. So that's somehow more risky. But yeah, so this year, with the 23 returns, I'll finally be able to actually qualify and use the VA. And I had to start paying myself with W-2 and all that to like game the game. And so I'm actually planning to use it to build in Springfield, because you can build with it, you can do renovations. So I'm going to build a barn dominium on like 20 acres. It's gonna be great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had Ryan Garland on recently, and he was talking about the barn dominions. He called it the man caves.
Dude, they're sick.
Yeah. What are you building exactly?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do. So what I'm actually going to do, well, I'm going to try to prove to the world how crazy the VA loan can be. So you can't build multi-units with it, but you can buy multi-units even if they're detached on the same tax parcel. So I'm going to get my local bank to fund. I'm going to build a barn dominium in one corner and a triplex in the other corner, so it'll cover most of the expenses. And then once it's finished with the build, I'll refi into a VA loan and pull 100% out of the appraisal. And then, but it's, yeah, the barn dominium, I'm going to probably go for broke, because I'm going to be stuck in it for at least 12 years until my kid's 18. And so I'm going to go like probably 6,000, 7,000 square foot, big enough to park 3 or 4 vehicles and a motorcycle and all that. And then the whole back area, it'll be probably a 4-3. And, really I'm more concerned about a covered patio, a hot tub, a legit pool, and a place to entertain. So I want the house to be like, I can host people inside, I can host people outside, I can entertain. Barn dominiums are sick because it's like, I got like a 3,000, 4,000 square foot garage, and then I can build the loft and overlook it and park all my stuff in there, and it's just cool.
Yeah. It's funny. I've never heard of it until 2 weeks ago when Ryan came on, and now you're talking about it. Everywhere I go online, I see it now. It is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely weird, but it's cool.
And I'm like you, man. I like to entertain. So for me, when I, look at a place to live in, I have to factor the entertainment perspective into it. I like to have people over, entertain, and have a good time. And so if I'm not able to do it, it's like, I don't know if it's for me.
Yeah. Well, you got a pretty sick pad for that.
Thank you.
Y'all's place is really nice.
Thank you. It makes it easy. We get to host our meetups next door, and then I'm there, and then I get to walk into the office every day. I'm like 6 blocks from the office, so it's a nice little walk, and yeah, I like it. So tell me what you're doing with the war room.
Yeah, the war room is so basically in 2018 I started a blog called From Military to Millionaire, and it just had some social media, and it was just me kind of documenting what I was doing in real estate for service members, and it, for lack of a better term, took off on its own. I think we've got 250,000 followers on social across. I've got 67,000 people in a Facebook group.
Wow, 67K.
Yeah, so
fuck, how'd you grow it that quick?
I wish I knew. The best answer I can give you is just focus on engagement and cleaning out spammy comments. Because one day we went from 100 people a week to 100 a day, 200 a day, 300 a day, and I went from like 6,000 members to like 50,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
Like, what the hell
What
happened?
turned around?
Nothing. I wish I had a legitimate answer. I cannot figure out. It wasn't a post that went viral. It wasn't like I got shared on some social media. It just, Facebook started promoting it to people. That's all I've gotten from people is I'm like, how'd you join this group? It's either I got invited or Facebook pushed it to me as a group I would like. So the only thing I can think of is because we've maintained an 85% engagement rate, and I do a really good job of getting rid of like spammy comments. And then I post engaging stuff and videos and whatever. The only thing I can think of is people got value out of it, and Facebook saw that, and Facebook started pointing people towards it.
Damn, that's a massive community. And so out of the 60,000, how many people are on there daily engaging?
I think so. On a weekly basis, it's like 85% of the group.
Wow.
Last month, I think we saw 48,000 people had commented or posted, or at least liked some stuff they're actually reading. On a daily basis, there's not really a day that goes by that we don't get 2 or 3 posts with over 100 comments. So I would imagine it's probably 2,000 or 3,000 people a day that are in there posting and commenting, and we probably get 50 posts a day.
And what kind of stuff do you guys post in there?
A lot of it's people just ask questions. For me, I'm posting information or reiterating things about the VA loan, or recently I posted a video about Space A Travel, which is like free travel for retirees in the military. They just opened it up a little bit ago for veterans who didn't actually retire but have 100% disability to be able to use that benefit. And so I posted that, and that one went kind of crazy. Or I'll post, hey, the VA is stopping foreclosures on properties, and people, just information like that, or various investing strategies. And then, all that's free content, the podcast, the YouTube, all the typical stuff. But for that small group of people that wants more, the War Room is a mastermind group that we host. So it's we've got 335, unless my guy closed anyone today. So 335 people in the group, and it's been really cool to watch because I started it, I had super imposter syndrome. I was like, nobody's going to join this thing, but I like mastermind, so let's see what happens. And I kept it as a really tight group and just slowly added to it. And it is a super, super, super cool group of people. So we've got, a couple 8-figure entrepreneurs and business owners in there, but you have to be a service member or a vet. So I won't let anyone in that's not. And it's I don't really know how to describe it other than a community for vets that are serious about, financial freedom.
Is it you have to be male or you could be a female too?
Oh yeah, we got females. Obviously it's, a lower percentage just because of the demographics, but I think we've got 30 or 40 girls in the group.
How can the listeners go out there and join that group?
Probably the easiest way to find any of that stuff is if you go to thebestpodcastguest.com, and there's a free download of my book and all my socials there.
Okay.
So.
I like that. So that's pretty cool, man. I think that's cool that you created this whole community. 65,000 is no joke, man. So kudos to you.